Hi, I'm Jan Larson and this is Thimbles for You. Today I'm talking about my chatelaines and this one is the Prairie Coneflower chatelaine. Everything that I make is solid sterling silver. I make them myself in my own shop right out here on the farm, and they're one at a time made by hand. So the chatelaine is the holder of all the other pieces, and this chatelaine has a lot of different pieces. I'm just going to go through them one at a time and show you what I've got. So this is a bobbin. It has thread on it. There's a little clear hair tie to hold the end of the thread so it doesn't unwind. You can refill it with any color at any time. And one of the handy features of this is that you can remove one end from the chatelaine and let the whole bobbin hang down a little bit farther. So it can be either long or short depending on what you'd like to do with it. The next piece is this little sunshine thread cutter. The thread cutter is an interesting piece because there's a round blade on the back, and where that blade shows through to the front is where you do your cutting. So you can cut right here, and you can see that from the front. There's a spot to cut almost any place. That blade is covered with a sterling silver disc on the back, and it's put together with a tube that comes through. And so we can change that blade if we need to. We just have to bend those prongs up and remove and replace and bend the prongs back down. So it'll all get shined and cleaned up if it comes in for a repair, and that's usually a trillium or a diamond shaped, triangle shaped gemstone on the front on that one. The next piece here is a needle threader. The needle threader often has a thread cutter at the top or a waxer at the top. This one is just the needle threader. The threader wire is inside the tube, and so when you pull that out, that threader goes through the eye of your needle, and then you pull back the thread on the reverse. So these come with a little sheath for the threader so we don't accidentally break that really fragile tiny little wire. It's chained on at the back, and then through the loop at the top so that gravity will hold that lid on there. You shouldn't have problems with that floating around. The next piece is a pin cushion locket. It's a half of a wool ball on the inside, and then it's covered with hand-dyed silk velvet. I cast the sterling silver locket myself here in the shop, and then polish and clean and sew these together so that they fit. You can take the lid off at any time, the pin cushion out at any time, and replace it with a new color. And this one has that same feature where you can drop one side, it'll hang a little bit lower, you could lay it on your project or do whatever you want with it, and then when you're finished, they're usually easier to travel when they're back up where they started. The next piece is an actual waxer. So this is a locket that's filled with natural beeswax. The wax is on one side, you lay your thread in there and just pull the whole thread through. Close it up when you're done. You can replace the wax in there yourself simply by putting a few wax chips on it and then setting it on a warm burner in the kitchen or a radiator or some kind of a candle warmer until it melts down. Just a helpful hint on the waxers: if you leave that in a warm car, the wax will melt out everywhere. You'll have wax on everything, so do be careful with those. This is a thimble cage, and it has my flower thimble in it. The cages come in 5 different sizes, so this is a small thimble in a small cage. This is a dome top thimble, and so because they don't have an open part to hang them on a bobbin, the dome top thimbles will only fit in the thimble cages for carry and movement. So the cage is made with a hinge at the bottom and a clasp at the top. It comes apart in 2 pieces, and you just hook them back together at the top, and it hangs like that. These can be removed from the chatelaine with a 8mm spring ring at the top, and that then can go onto a chain and become a really pretty necklace. A lot of us have heirloom thimbles from our aunts and grandmas, and that is a really pretty necklace just worn on a chain like that. The next piece is the scissors. You can use my scissors or yours. I always sell everything one piece at a time, so you buy separately the chain and the sheath and the scissors. My chains are all 12 inches, so it's 6 inches down and 6 back up, and again it attaches in 2 places, but you won't want to undo one of the places or your scissors will be dropping to the floor. The scissors are fastened through the loops so that you can use them while they're still attached. You can leave them hanging kind of sideways like that while you're still in process with your project, but when you're finished, you'll want to pull it back up, put it in its sheath, and send it back the way it came. I also have a handled magnifier here. This is a 7x magnification, and so you can see through it. This really does help you find your knots and do some small stitch repairs and that kind of thing. There also has a really nice vintage look with the vine that's growing on the handle. I've got a couple of extra pieces that would work on this chatelaine as well. This is a brand new piece, and it's called the butterfly thimble. This is the smallest one of this, so I'm gonna have to wear it on my pinky. But I do have other sizes that we're getting ready to cast right now. So this is the one with the gemstone. It's right in the middle of the butterfly. And this one has kind of a lacy bottom edge, so if you do have kind of a gnarly knuckle and need a little bit of bulk at the bottom, we can bend these out. It's attached most of the way around, but there's several places where it's open where we can pull that out and make it a little bit bigger so it'll fit against your knuckle a little bit better. So that's the one with the gemstone, and here's the one without the gemstone. $100 with no gem and $120 with the gemstone, and these would look really nice on the Prairie Coneflower chatelaine. Again, this is the Prairie Coneflower chatelaine, and I'm Jan Larson with Thimbles for You.